Each people have their own problems that they're dealing with something every day. It's exhausting to get up every single day and do the same thing all over again. In the modern times, most of us tend to become busy to do the tasks that should be done on time. We cannot avoid the fact that we get tired and exhausted for all the things we've done throughout the day. We need something to consume, to get energized, and have the power to work on things. And taking food is one of the best examples of synthesizing energy that are distributed to the different certain parts of the body. And this process is called carbohydrate metabolism. So, what is metabolism? Metabolism is a term which includes all the reactions which occur to the food stuff inside the body. For example, apple has a carbohydrate, and when we consume it, it will be digested and the energy will be excreted from the apple, which is the ADP or adenosine triphosphate that will be distributed all throughout the body. A combination of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms arranged in rings that can exist alone or in pairs is called a simple sugar. Complex carbohydrates are created when these rings join forces to form long chains. We need carbohydrates for calories or energy, and simple sugars, in particular, have a variety of uses in our diets. They can be used to sweeten lemonade, counterbalance the acidity of miso soup, feed yeast for rising dough, and alcohol, and preserve jams and jellies. Nowadays, sugar occur naturally in both plant-based foods like grains, fruits, and vegetables, as well as animal-based foods like cheese and milk. Foods such as cereals, ketchup, energy bars, and even salad dressings can contain added sugars. It should be noted that added sugars is still considered to be present even if it comes from a natural source, such as sugarcane or honey. In actuality, many of the ingredients listed on food labels, some of which you've probably heard of, may contain added sugars. In reality, the term sugar refers to a family of molecules known as saccharides. Monosaccharides, where mono means one, disaccharides, where the means two, oligosaccharides, where oligo means a few, meaning 3 to 9 sugar molecules link together, and polysaccharides, where poly means many, meaning 10 or more sugar molecules linked together. The most significant member of the sugar family is glucose. A monosaccharide, it can pass through the blood-brain barrier and supply the brain with energy, making it one of the body's primary sources of calories. Fructose is another type of monosaccharide, that is frequently present in fruits, root vegetables, and honey. Lastly, there is galactose, also referred to as milk sugar, which is also a monosaccharide.
The reason it is called milk sugar is that it can only be found in nature when it combines with glucose to create lactose, a disaccharide that is present in the milk of mammals, including humans and cows. Another disaccharide that is created when fructose combined with glucose is sucrose, also known as table sugar. A variety of fruits and vegetables contain sucrose, but sugarcane and sugar beets contain most of it. Another disaccharide that is present in the molasses and can be used as a substrate for the fermentation of beer is maltose, which is made up of two zinc glucose molecules. The complex carbohydrate come next. There are another oligosaccharides such as galactose oligosaccharides, which are essentially short chain of galactose molecules similar to those in soybeans. The most abundant form of carbohydrate in food are polysaccharides, which are even longer chain with branches. Enzyme found in the human gut can break down the molecular band that binds sugar molecules to form starch, which are polysaccharides. Foods including rice, potatoes, wheat, and maize contain starches, which are significant source of calories. Due to differing mechanism of taste receptor activation, starches do not taste sweet like simple sugars. Furthermore, there are the dietary fibers, which are indigestible carbohydrate that the body is unable to digest due to the lack of intestinal enzyme. The process by which a OH from monosaccharide bind with a H from another monosaccharide to form a glycosidic bond is how monosaccharide bind together. These combine to form a water molecule or H2O which evaporates. When maltose is present, a link known as an alpha 1 and 4 glycosidic bond is formed between the first carbon of one glucose monosaccharide and the fourth carbon of the other. Additionally, the term alpha describes how the molecules are arranged next to one another. The beta 1 to 4 glycosidic bond found in lactose, on the other hand, form a bond between the carbon 1 and 4 of galactose and glucose. But this time, the molecules are stacked one above the other. Last but not the least, sucrose contains an alpha 1 and 2 glycosidic bond which binds the carbon 1 and 2 of glucose and fructose. Enzymes now begin to convert disaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides into monosaccharides so that they can be absorbed when you eat something like a piece of onion bread. Different enzyme aids in the breakdown of different linkages. For instance, lactase, sucrase, and maltase break down lactose, sucrose, and maltose into their monosaccharides, while amylase break down large polysaccharides like starch into smaller units. Glucose, fructose, and galactose are the individual monosaccharides that are released during the digestion of larger carbohydrate molecules. These monosaccharides pass through the intestinal lining and enter the bloodstream to be used by the body. All digestible carbohydrates ultimately end up as their component monosaccharides, which the body can use immediately for energy or store for a rainy day, depending on what the body needs. This is true whether the carbohydrate originate from simple sugar like honey or from starches like baked potatoes.
A healthy diet should include 45 to 65% of calories from carbohydrates. According to the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, eating a healthy diet now entails selecting foods that are as high in nutrients as possible. Foods high in natural sugars, fiber, and starch, such as fruits and vegetables, are generally higher in nutrients than foods high in added sugars. That being said, since most of people diets include processed and packaged foods, carefully reading nutrition labels can help you make more nutrient dense food choices by comparing products. In general, it's best to choose foods and drinks that are lower in added sugars and higher in nutrients, such as fiber and all forms of carbohydrates originating from a range of foods such as fruits, vegetables, dairy products, and grains are ultimately part of a healthy diet. The World Health Organization and the US Dietary Guidelines advise that added sugars should account for no more than 10% of your total calories, but they can also include added sugars. Thank you for listening.